Hi guys, this is your girl Wakeji Kamore and welcome to Reflections by Wakeji Kamore. If you're a visitor here, karibu sana. Please stick to the end and remember to subscribe and again to click the notification bell. That way you will never miss any Bible summary chapter that we put up. If you're a returning listener, it is my prayer and belief that honestly, if nothing, that you are learning from these stories, or at least that you know now the stories, like you know the stories from the Old Testament in your head, if nothing else. But I'm also trusting that you're growing in the knowledge of God as you go through the Bible summary. So we are on the last chapter of the book of Judges, which is Judges chapter 21. Again, I'll be narrating the story instead of reading it word for word. And then I'll be sharing my lesson at the end or as I move along. And if there are no lesson, there will be a two story. So anyway, I hope that you remember where we left off the story yesterday. At this point, we have 11 tribes of Israel who went to war with one tribe, which is the tribe of Benjamin. And they managed to kill every man, every woman, every child from the tribe of Benjamin and from all the cities in which they lived, apart from 600 warriors that went hiding. Up on the story, chapter 20, Elisha. So anyway, let me take you a little bit back, or rather give you the story that happened before, or rather during when this war was happening between the 11 tribes and the tribe of Benjamin. So during the heat of the war, or the heat of the moment, the 11 tribes of Israel made two stupid vows. I don't know how I feel about vows at this point. I feel like now there are very few people who made good vows that ended up great. Like when Hannah made the vow that she would give her son to God, and that son ended up being Samuel. I think that's the only vow that I know that is great in the Bible. But anyway, Sibado Tunalan, as far as I'm concerned, as far as we have reached, there is no vow that has ended up well. But anyway, so they made two vows. So first, they had called all the tribes of Israel and all the families that made up every tribe to be part of this war against the tribe of Benjamin. And they vowed that if any tribe, if any clan, if any family would not participate in this war against the tribe of Benjamin, that tribe or clan or family would be wiped out. And that was the first vow. What was the vow? That if any family, clan, tribe did not participate in this war against the tribe of Benjamin, they would completely wipe them out. Higher. That is vow number one. Vow number two. So secondly, in the heat of the moment and in the heat of this war, all the 11 tribes of Israel made a vow to never, ever, ever, ever give their daughters in marriage to the tribe of Benjamin. That is vow number two, to never give their daughters in marriage to the tribe of Benjamin. Are we together up to that point? All right. Now, keep those vows in your mind as we go back to the story. So we have 11 tribes of Israel and only 600 men left from the tribe of Benjamin. The 11 tribes of Israel, at some point, they were just like, what? Sasa, I think we are about to finish these guys. We are about to wipe out a whole tribe. So they went crying to God, saying, Lord, you are the God of Israel. He's the God of Israel. Why is this terrible thing happening to us? I'm like, how is the terrible thing happening to you guys and you're the ones who are killing people and wiping a whole tribe out? Like now, how is it that you've decided this thing is happening to us? You are the happening. You're the reason why this thing is happening. Anyway, they said, why has one tribe of the Israelites been taken away? Who is taking away the tribe? Aren't you the ones that are killing them? Anyway, so they went to God and they said, why is this terrible thing happening to us? And why has one tribe of the Israelites been taken away from us? These guys are crazy cuckoos. Like, I don't know. They have amnesia or I don't know what's happening. So anyway, remember that now they are in between a hard place and a rock because they vowed to never give their daughters in marriage to the tribe of Benjamin. So how will the tribe of Benjamin be saved? How will the 600 men reproduce? Sasa itakuwaje? Hey, pressure. So kidogo they remember that when they called for all the tribes and clans and families into this war, Now there's a certain city of Jabesh in Gilead that did not show up. But because they had vowed to completely wipe them out as punishment, so now they are caught between honoring the vow to wipe out this city that didn't show up for this tribe and wanting to preserve the tribe of Benjamin. Because how will the tribe of Benjamin, the 600 men, reproduce if they won't give them their wives, their daughters, as for marriage? So what do? They go into this city of Jabesh that did not participate in this war, and they killed everyone else, every other person, apart from 400 virgin women. So they carry 400 virgin women from this town that didn't participate in these vows. For we won't give our daughters to the tribe of Benjamin. And they also did not participate in this war. So they kill everybody and they carry 400 virgin women who they gave to these 600 men from the tribe of Benjamin. All right. So now we have 400 men sorted. 400 men wamejinyakulia mabibi from these 400 virgin women that have been brought. I don't know what was the criteria of getting. Whether you are young or old. I don't know what was the criteria. Mtu waliwekwa hapo wakambua. Sasa mwenye nguvu. I don't know what was the criteria. But anyway, now we have 200 men who have no wives and 11 tribes that have vowed to never give their daughters to the tribe of Benjamin. Well, things are getting tough. So now what do we do with these 200 men? Where will they get ladies to... where will they get wives? The other 11 tribes have vowed to never give them their daughters. So now these 200 men, what will happen to them? So this meant that they had to circumvent their own vows. Remember, they created these vows themselves. So now they have to figure out a way to go about it without necessarily breaking the vow, and also to sort out these 200 men. Okay, it's like they were creating their own problems. It's like they're just now creating their own problems and starting to tattoo them. I don't even understand these guys. So that meant that they, of course, as I've said, they have to circumvent their own vows without really breaking them. So let me tell you what they did. So there was an upcoming festival. So the 11 tribes of Israel went and told these 200 men that were wifeless to go and hide somewhere in the bushes and wait for the festivals to start. So when the dancing started at the festivals, these 200 men were to come out of the bushes and each to grab a woman and run off with her and make her his wife. So please note, these women that are being grabbed and run off with are from the 11 tribes of Israel. But because these tribes don't want to feel like they gave their women or they gave their daughters, or they could give their daughters to the tribe of Benjamin. So now that they've come up with a plan, they've told the 200 men to hide in the bush to wait for this Disco Matanga festival. I don't know what was happening in this festival, and waiting for the dancing. When the dancing is happening, watoke kwa bush, they come and grab each a woman, run off with her, and go and make them their daughters. That way, the 11 tribes will not have given their daughters to the tribe of Benjamin, but rather the tribes will have stolen the daughters. Of course, with consent. The tribes of Israel are the ones telling the 200 men to come and steal their way. Like, it's so messed up. It's just so messed up, this chapter. But anyway, that is what happens. So the guys come, they wait for this Disco Matanga to begin, this festival thing, people are dancing, then they come out from the bush and they steal 200 ladies. Kila mtu amejinyakulia their own girl, and they have run off with them and they have made them their wife. And that is how the tribe of Benjamin was saved from being completely wiped out. And the chapter ends there. The book of Judges ends there. And the last verse says, in those days, the Israelites did not have a king. So everyone did what they thought was right. Today, if you wake up like this and you say, this is what is right to me, you can't tell me anything, this is right and this is what I'm doing. That's basically how the chapter ends, which is very, very sad. Comparing to where we've come from, like these guys have journeyed from Egypt to get to this point. They have journeyed in the wilderness. They have done their own things that have caused them consequences. They have finally crossed over to the promised land. They have been given their lands. They have refused to completely remove the inhabitants of the land. Now they have gelled with them, intermarried. And this is where it ends. Like, this is where the book of Judges gets to an end, which is a very sad place to end this story. But this is where it ends, and I'm hoping that in the next book will be refreshing. The book of Ruth will be a little bit refreshing before we can go back to these Israelites and the things that they are doing. But yeah, thank you so very much for listening to the book of Judges, for going through it with me. I am truly, truly thankful, and I'm grateful. And what I'm learning again, as I've mentioned, you cannot be living a life where you have no authority. Like, you have no authority that you fear. You don't fear God. You don't fear anybody. You just do whatever you tell yourself to do. That is not a way to live life. And so for me, I choose to live life according to the truth that is laid out in the word of God. That will govern me. That will be what governs how I treat other people, how I worship my God, how I fear my God, how I obey God, how I trust God. It will be governed by his word, because I have clearly seen that any other thing is not going to work. For sure, it's not going to work. So anyway, thank you so very much. This is your girl Wakeji Kamore, and this has been Reflections by Wakeji Kamore.